profitability. The SEO Queen, more visibility. The SEO Queen, more profitability. The SEO Queen, 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 more credibility, more visibility, more profitability. The SEO Queen.
Well, when I lived in Detroit, Michigan for some time after I graduated from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, with my master's degree, I lived in Michigan for a while. And there was a pastor of Abundant Faith Cathedral. Pastor Wallace, he would call me Lady Zhe, and the name just stuck. My birth name is Violinist. Violinist. My father's name is Theodis, and my mother's name is Linda, and the first 6 letters of my name come from their name. So the ZHE comes from the THE in Theodis, and the LIN comes directly from Linda.
So you got.
Well, I was drawn to the violin because my play cousin Michelle was playing the violin at the time, and I really wanted to do everything she did. I really looked up a lot to her. She was like my older sister. And I started playing the violin, and around the same time I started playing the piano as well. When I decided I wanted to play the violin, I went to my parents and I begged or asked them for a violin, and my father said, "You can't stop playing until I say so if I spend any money." And here I am today. Yeah, I grew up playing violin orchestras. From elementary school to junior high to high school, I was part of the Long Beach all district orchestras. In high school, I was the principal of the second violin section. But when I got to college, when I was in the MIT Symphony Orchestra, we started playing a lot of Mahler, and I really, as a violinist, I really wasn't feeling utilized, and so I kind of stopped playing violin as much. But that was just a brief period of time. I think that was like maybe a year, but I decided to get my degree in music, and I've been playing ever since in a committed way. Well, my first violin meant a lot. I played it all the way from 4th grade to the 10th grade in high school. And it was where I really, had to really work hard to learn how to play the bow well, really develop a great bow hold and just maneuver the bow in such a way where I get a great sound. When I finally got a new violin after that, and even my electric violins afterwards, it's such a difference, night and day. Having a higher quality instrument, it makes the playing easier from a mechanical standpoint. Well, I think, my dad always has these football stories about how, he was captain of the football team at Poly and all this other stuff. But me, I was really competitive when it came to violin. I remember the first time I even knew that you could challenge someone for a seat in orchestra. I was in elementary school in the all-district orchestra, and I went to this teacher, Miss Miracle, and I was like, I really think, I should, be able to go to the first violin section. I was in elementary school, and she told me that she didn't see anything spectacular about my playing, and being, that I was um, a 19-year-old child, and my parents never started me with private lessons until I got into high school. I really didn't understand everything around the violin and the preparation and what other people were doing. I just knew that I would go home and play as long as I could. Even in high school, I was practicing like 3 hours a day. But when I finally got a violin teacher, Joseph Taylor, I really credit him with really opening my mind and understanding. And I really credit him with teaching me how to sight read. Basically, you know, looking at music and being fearless when approaching, you know, music. I think now I like to sight read mostly by ear because I think that's one thing that's really unique about my experience, you know, learning violin is that unlike other violinists, even though they have these teachers, I had a grandfather who was a pastor of a church who was like, oh, you're playing violin? I need you to play during service. And so the musicians I was playing with, they didn't always read music. They didn't always know the language that I was learning in school. So I had to learn by ear. And so I can pretty much go into any context, whether it's music is provided or not, and be able to function as a musician. And I think that's powerful. Well, when I left home to go all the way from California to Massachusetts to MIT to go for school, the first thing I remember is being really, really homesick. And the second thing I remember about moving into the dorms freshman year is that it was way too quiet. And one of the first things I got was a stereo because I needed music. So my freshman year, I was involved on the track team, which I quit soon. And then I was in the MIT Symphony Orchestra for many years. And also the Chamber Society. I almost forgot that. Oh my goodness. Studying with Marcus Thompson was just incredible. One concert I remember that he played the viola solo for the Bach Brandenburg Concerto. It was just awesome. I mean, Marcus Thompson is an incredible musician, incredible violist, and he was an incredible faculty member who was one of my coaches in Chamber Music Society. I studied with Elena Rohr. I credit her with teaching me composition on a deeper level. I did take AP Music in high school under Mr. Emmons at Long Beach Poly. But fun fact is that I was in the same AP Music class as Danny Regan of Real Big Fish. And yeah, I think we had some great times in that class, AP Music Theory. But studying with Elena Rohr at MIT, Martha Potter Kim, I studied violin with her. And I also studied with Marcus Thompson, who's our chamber music coach. And I think the thing that was really powerful about my Chamber Music Society experience at MIT is that I really learned how to engage in nonverbal communication while performing with other musicians. And so that was a really powerful lesson that I learned a lot there on a high level.
Okay.
I think, you know, when I was younger, I was really focused on, you know, academics and career. And I really did not pay attention to my health, emotional health, physical health, as much as I do now. And that is because of those challenges that I had. I mean, I thought I could, you know, be in my final trimester in pregnancy and be a newlywed and work for the FBI all at the same time. And, you know, everyone has their limits. And so I think for me, it was just really accepting and understanding those limits. And I think as far as how it's impacted my music, just asking those questions, having that quiet time, I've been able to really understand how I feel and translate that into my music. So it's been quite a journey. Wow. I've had quite a few challenges from really a tough time with a relationship with my daughter. I've been held up by gunpoint. A marriage that fell apart because of so many reasons. Dealing with racism in the workplace. I think 2012 was a really pivotal year for me because it was a year where I really had to start asking a lot of questions and going within in a bigger way. Before 2012, I had decided that I wanted to pursue music professionally, but I don't think I was as serious as I am now. I wasn't as strategic. And so, 2012 was a year where I did a project called Finally. And it was at that time where that year I was separated from my daughter, and dealing with a lot of the challenges there was tough. Yeah, it's so much. I could write a book about it. Absolutely. Okay. Without God, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'm glad you asked that question because lately I've been in this space of just gratitude. Gratitude and just playful fun, having a good time. Not so much, I'm really not on the sexy, erotic, I'm not all on that tip. I'm more on like the reflective, the gratitude, praise, just reflection. I think so. I think it's more message music, more relationship based. When I think of a song that I'm working on right now, called Just Plucking Along, and my son is on this record, and it's like such a blessing to be able to work with your 4-year-old son on some music. Yes. And bring it to the world. So well, I really, really enjoy it because it allows me to connect with people in a way that I normally don't get to on a day-to-day basis. And, I like to make people smile, and sometimes people come to tears. It's just a way for people to let down their guard. Like everybody in the room lets down their guard all at the same time, and we all connect. And that's really powerful, especially in this day and time where we often feel so divided. When I was a junior in high school, I went as the City of Long Beach's Goodwill Ambassador to Yokkaichi, Japan. And I played for the mayor in Yokkaichi on my violin, and that was so cool. I mean, to go overseas and play, for the mayor of Yokkaichi, I still remember that to this day. Another stage that I remember, actually two stages I remember, is the homegoing, excuse me, the homegoing service for my grandfather. And that was at Christ Second Baptist in Long Beach. And that was really memorable. And also, that's my paternal grandfather, Theodore Scott Sr. And then playing with my sisters at my maternal grandmother's funeral in Compton. Those would be the three that I really remember. I think that would be gospel music, because I grew up in the church and I go to church and I'm a believer in Lord Jesus Christ. I accepted him as my personal savior at an early age, and I play a lot of hymns and gospel music, inspirational music. Yes, I actually had the opportunity to study with Regina Carter, and I also studied with Karen Briggs as well. Karen Briggs, to me, is the most amazing contemporary violinist alive. And I know there's some people who would disagree and say, oh, John Ponte, or, no pointer, may he rest in peace. But I really admire Karen Briggs for the passion and fire that she brings to the instrument. And I look at her as like my violin mother, because I got to see her perform at the world stage this summer, and it was an awesome concert. Awesome. Well, I play a 5-string violin, and so I have the same strings as both a viola and a violin. So I have the C string, the G string, the D string, the A string, and the E string. So the E string is the highest string on the violin, and the C string is the lowest string on the viola. So I have both of those ranges. Well, I think I want people to feel good, to feel inspired, to just feel, the joy, the gratitude, and sometimes the pain that I've journeyed through my music. There is one song that I consider my signature song. It's a song written by the incredible Richard Smallwood called Total Praise. And that song, when I do play it, it is coming from a place of just gratitude for all the things that God has done in my life. And so I'm really excited to be working on an EP. I have 3 songs that I'm working on, and so that should be coming out soon. 2 original songs that I've written, along with 1 cover, and stay tuned to find out. Well, if you go to ladyz.com, you can see a preview of those songs, because I have it right now free. Well, 2 of the songs. Well, 1 of the songs. I have 2 other songs with it, but just 1 of the songs on my website. So if you go there, you can hear it. And ladyz.com.
Okay.
Well, I hope I'm able to inspire up-and-coming violinists, like I was inspired by Karen Briggs when she performed with Yanni in Live at the Acropolis. And I just want to bring to the music world just a different voice. I hear people complain all the time that a lot of the music sounds the same, and my original music sounds very different. Well, I think the thing that I want people to understand about me is that I really enjoy playing music, and I do what I do because it is something that I love to share with others, and music is extremely important to me and has gotten me through a lot. It's my creative outlet, and I have so many musical ideas. I've been working on um, a new project too. As I'm working on this, I always keep a journal of ideas, and so I'm just looking forward to just sharing this journey with the world.